And welcome back to yet another episode of the What's in Your Cup podcast. You already know who I am. I don't have to introduce myself once again.
But you know what? I'm going to introduce myself.
Well, then do it.
Hey guys, it's Mark. Yes, it's going to be a good episode tonight. A lot of passion is going to come in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So,
because you got to gaze upon a new show.
Well, I got a glimpse into nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
So, as many of you all know, the first episode of the first season of the Netflix live action Avatar: The Last Airbender aired. Now, I'm going to be real with you. Nobody asked for this. Like, nobody asked for a live action ATLA.
Well, so which streaming service did this come out on?
Netflix.
This came out on Netflix. So remember when they first brought like the cartoon Avatar: The Last Airbender on, and it became their most watched program? Like
100%.
within like a week, within the first week they had it. Mm-hmm. That's why they're getting a live action show.
But nobody asked for it. Like, that's the thing. Nobody in the fandom was like, you know what we need right now? A live action. The reason why Netflix is doing this, and I read a Screen Rant article about it, is they're testing all of the animes. I know it's a hot take that Avatar: Last Airbender, for now I'm just going to say ATLA, because saying the whole name is going to become really repetitive.
Yeah.
So ATLA is an anime in Netflix's eyes. So I know that's a hot take in the whole anime world. But anyways, so they started off with Death Note. Then they did another anime. But all of their animes, live actions, have been flops except One Piece. So they're like, oh, if One Piece can do it, let's do ATLA, and so we can make money. Here's the problem. Everyone, and it's been, 10 years since now, is still shell-shocked from M. Night Shyamalan's rendition of The Last Airbender, and it was just so comically bad.
Yeah.
Like, I still cringe when I hear the word Ong instead of Aang.
Yeah.
Did you see the movie?
Of course I saw that movie. It was horrible.
I was like, when did that movie come out? What?
It came out
What? It had to be
at least a decade ago.
Like, I remember I was definitely less than like 10. I remember being 10.
I'll Google it. Yeah. You keep talking about it.
I just remember being so young and being like, bro, this movie's garbage. Like, first of all, they're calling Aang Ong. I don't know why. Second of all, the firebenders can't generate fire on their own accord. They had to have a fire pit next to them and manipulate the fire away from the fire pit. I'm like, that is trash. It was just bad. And they tried to do the whole first season, the Book of Water, in an hour and 30 minutes. Like, homeboy, what is this?
So the movie came out in 2010. The M. Night Shyamalan movie came out in 2010. Now that I'm going through the cast members and everybody like that. Do you remember Dev Patel is in the movie? He plays Zuko.
Can I see? Can I see the laptop?
Yeah, hold on. This guy.
He plays Zuko?
Yeah, now he's like an Oscar-nominated actor and everything like
I
that.
know he is never putting that on his resume. I'm sorry.
No, but I remember reading on something about his career that, like, because, like, he has agents and everybody that, like, find him contracts and stuff like that. He has never taken another, like, studio blockbuster contract since Avatar: The Last Airbender because it was so bad. And he, like, let's say you do, like, an independent film. Like, he did, like, Lion, right?
Yeah.
Like, a great independent film that made... Well, no, it's probably not independent, but like, story.
It was a good film.
It was a good film, not like mainstream blockbuster type, and it got like an Oscar nomination, right? He'll do movies like that from now on. He will never do like blockbusters. So you'll never see him in like Marvel movies. You won't see him in like summer blockbusters. Yeah, he doesn't do that anymore.
Do you think the actors, like, not to diverge too much, but like if they're reading a script, do you think they can tell the movie's bad? Like this is gonna be a bad movie? Or do you think it only happens when, like, after everything comes out? Because, they have hard work. Like, they're putting a lot of hard work. I know it's easy to dunk on movies, but a lot of work goes into this. But it was just so bad.
Yeah.
That, like, do you think he knew it? Or it was, like, he only saw when he went to the premiere. He's like, damn, this movie is kind of shit.
I'm hoping that because it's like earlier, I don't know when he started his career. I'm assuming this is like early on in his career. So like, you know, you're thinking like, oh, it's a blockbuster.
Yeah.
You know, like based on like a popular series that everyone's going to see. So let me just jump on that bandwagon and do what I got to do. Right. But sometimes you can find out right away if a movie's going to be bad based on how it's written.
Yeah.
Or you find out like some guys, because I read up on like stories like this all the time, like fun fact stories about like actors and things like that. Like sometimes you'll show up to a set for like your first day, and some guys within like the first like hour of being on a set, they can tell this movie's gonna be trash.
I'm so sorry. Your cat. I just saw your cat in your window, and I thought that was a person for a second.
Oh, him? Yeah.
I was almost about to ship bricks. For those who know, like I'm gonna say air quotes studio is on ground level, and there's a window facing into a backyard. So it's just like I really thought that was some freaking homeless person showing up and be like, "Well, let me get $1." But that is a co-star.
No, that's one of the cats. He's just outside.
Los Gatos. That's a good band name. Los Gatos. You just can't tour in like Latin America because you'll just be laughed at.
Yeah.
But anyways, going back to the Last Airbender. Anyway. Oh wait, no, going back to you.
So some guys, when they show up on set, especially if they've been around a while, if they show up to a set for like the first hour that they're there, and they notice how like unorganized it is, or like lack of like
care,
not like care or creativity, but like lack of like vision, or like you don't know like what you want to do, so it's like you're still figuring it out. Sometimes they'll just back out of they'll try to like get out of a project like that first day.
Oh wow.
It's like they know like, okay, this guy has no idea what he wants from this, so this is going to be a challenge and it's going to hurt me in the long run. So let me get the fuck out of here. Or like they'll contact their agent like, you got to get me the fuck out of this project, like I know this is going to be bad. But and then, you know, because you can sign a contract, but then changes happen like during the production all the time. Yeah. Like script changes happen all the time, or the director wants to try something new and like do with this instead. So they do reshoots, but it turns out that it just wasn't as good as it was before, you know, all that crap. So I'm assuming that everybody, I mean, I don't know any of these people besides Dev Patel.
So I wonder if their careers has ended.
I have no idea.
From this horrible movie. But anyway, so going back to it, right?
And there's like, we can go on for like an hour talking about how bad this movie is, or like all the mistakes they made, but we're not going to do that.
Just watch it yourself. If you really want to kill an hour and a half of your life and you think we're over dramatic, watch the anime series, then go watch this movie, and then play back this podcast episode.
And then you'll see like how
and see what we're talking about. So anyways, so people are still like, the fandom is still shocked from that movie, and it's over a decade old.
But when you fuck up that bad on the first try, everyone's just like, don't do it again. No, don't do it again.
They were gonna do like a 3-part like water, earth, fire, make this whole like franchise. It was like, no. It was just dead on arrival. So I only saw the first episode, and so what I kind of want to do with this is give my first take. And then once I'm done with the season, kind of revisit this topic really briefly and kind of see what my whole attitude towards it. So I would consider myself a pretty big fan of the Last Airbender series. I think it is a really good story. Like one of, maybe I'm gassing it up too much, and feel free to check me, but probably one of the best stories of all time. Yeah. Like maybe I'm just, maybe it's a little overrated, but I'm going to go there. I was like, I think this is one of the best animated stories of all time. And the reason why I say that is because it's a children's show. Like, if you watch this show, it is a children's show. And however, the ability for these writers, I forgot their names, but these writers and these animators who convey such deep topics about imperialism, about segregation, about, tragedy, loss, genocide, like all these things for a child to understand while still not losing any of the real symbolic importance, that's hard to do. Like, that's really hard to do. And so the show as it progresses through, and it's only 3 seasons. That's also, it's like they didn't milk this show to oblivion. They didn't like, they ended strong, or they started strong and they ended strong.
Like they knew when to end it
Exactly.
properly.
Like
they didn't extend it an extra season because it got better views. Like they were like, no, we only need 3 seasons.
Exactly.
And that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
And they would replay, and they had such replay ability. Like everyone kept watching. They still watch it today.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
And so, for those who may not know, the gist of the story of The Last Airbender is you have these 4 nations in this mythical world: Earth, Wind, Fire, Water, right? And basically, the Fire Nation is the first to industrialize out of all of the other 4 nations. You have this one individual called the Avatar, which can master all 4 elements. And think of the Avatar as like the world police, right? Well, the Fire Nation gets cocky and says, well, we think we're better than everyone. We want to conquer the world. The Avatar dies, but the whole thing about the Avatar is they can reincarnate into the next nation, right? So think of if an Avatar was born in Earth, they die, they're reincarnated into water, right? So the Fire Nation, the last Avatar prior to our protagonist Aang dies, was a member of the Fire Nation. Then the next Avatar would be reincarnated to the Air Nation. The Fire Nation knows this. They said, all right, we're going to go and just commit genocide, kill every single Airbender, kill the Avatar, conquer the world, ka-ching, right? Aang, long story short, survives this genocide and then goes on to learn deep life values while mastering all the other elements. Very good story. Encourage anyone to watch it. So this is a really treasured part of a lot of people's childhood, nostalgia, all this stuff. So people are very protective of it. I have a little bit of problems with that because I think that a lot of people, and this is also very prevalent in other fandoms as well, that when other renditions of this fandom occur, it has to be like the exact original, that no artistic liberty can be taken, which I kind of want to push back on that.
Okay.
Because I think that's very toxic, and that sometimes you can experiment with an existing piece of work while still giving due process, like still giving due credit to that original piece. I know they're redoing the Harry Potter series into like a TV show, HBO. And everybody's worried about they're going to fuck up Harry Potter. They're going to make it all, political, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it's like, let's wait to see how it comes out. If it's trash, it's trash. But let's not just hop on the bandwagon saying it's bad before we even seen a pilot.
Yeah.
So
give them the benefit of the doubt.
Before
immediately assuming.
So this saga starts a couple of years ago, or not a couple of years ago, like a year or two ago, where Netflix was actually partnering with the original Avatar creators. Everyone was hype about this shit. They were like, oh, the original creators are on board. Like, oh, this is going to be good. The original creators walk out. Reasoning is because Netflix wanted to up everyone's ages. So all the characters in the animated show are all teenagers. I think Sokka is the oldest. No, well, yeah, it would be Sokka and Suki that are the oldest ones, and put them at like 17, 18. But Aang, Katara, Toph, Zuko, Azula, they're all like between the ages of 12 and 16. So these are all teenagers. Netflix wanted to up them all to like 18 so they can have romance in it. Now, romance was in ATLA, like the original animated show.
As kid-friendly as it
but
could
it,
get.
But it wasn't the central theme of it. Like, yes, there was always, like Sokka, the Riz Lord, or like, Aang and Katara always had like an unspoken affection to one another, but it was never the main point, like they all loved each other, but it was more than, it was like a family, right? So that was the big red flag. Like, that was a huge red flag. The minute that these people walked down, the creators did not mince words. They were like, they are fucking up. the original Our Vision. So the fan base went after Netflix. They were like, what the fuck are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. So Netflix went back to the drawing board. The creators never came back. To my knowledge, they never came back. I could be wrong. And they released this. The first episode, I'm going to give... You haven't seen it, right? So I'm not going to do too many... Well, you've seen the original, so there are no spoilers.
Well, as a live action one, is it just like taking the exact show and then just doing everything in live action? Or is it like...
No.
Or is it like a reboot of the series with live action?
I would consider it more of a reboot because there are... Okay,
like the primary concepts are the same, but
Yes.
like certain story elements have been changed.
It's okay because I've only seen the first episode. So how I'm gonna frame it is
Like
the
you
first
still have, like
episode.
Aang is still an airbender.
Yes, stuff like that.
Sokka
yeah.
and Katara are still from the water
yeah.
tribe. They still like meet. They find him in like the
iceberg.
iceberg and shit like that, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
all the same. Where it differs is, I think, they add additional scenes. They change iconic scenes. So, they'll like, for example, if you can think back to the first couple of episodes, the first major fight, spoiler alert, is, Aang fucks up Zuko's ship. Like he goes Avatar mode, and because
water,
Zuko
like,
has
spiral thing.
because Zuko has Katara, and he's like, I'm about to yeet her off this planet, and Aang goes into the Avatar state. That is not included into the first episode, or they got rid of that in the live action, which. You know what? That's definitely controversial because that's like the first test of his power.
I'm assuming that's just some type of like budgeting issue.
Yeah,
they'd
that's
have
probably...
to animate him. First, if they could animate that whole One Piece thing, like, did you watch that show, the live action One Piece?
No.
Okay, I don't like how the animation looks, and this is just from clips I've seen online. I haven't actually
Wait,
seen
the show
episode.
or the live action?
The live action
Okay,
version.
the live action.
Like, I've always said it before. If you can't make CGI look good, don't use it. And it's like, I did like a compare. I watched like a compare, like, because this guy on YouTube that was doing like a YouTube comparison and showed like the original cartoon like scene. Like these, it's a copy of the same thing. So I saw the original cartoon one first for like the first like minute or 2 minutes, and then they did the first 2 minutes of the live action one, copying it. It looks nothing the same. The actors do not look anything like the characters, and the CGI looks awful.
Oh, damn.
It just doesn't... You know what it looks like? It looks like Bollywood animation.
Damn.
You ever seen like Bollywood movies where they have... Everything looks blurry. It's like hectic, crazy looking.
I know they had money. They threw money at this. Like, why is it bad?
I don't know.
So, with Avatar, all right, I'm going to take your word for it. It's probably budgeting. But I felt a certain type of way. Because, like, for me, that's, like, the first show of Aang's power. But it's not a deal breaker. Not a deal breaker. So, I'm going to start off with the cons. So, the cons of the again, this is the first episode, so my opinions are subject to change. But the cons is they changed certain aspects of the show. Especially, I think, with just changing certain important scenes that set up the story. They are rushing through the first book. So, each episode's about an hour. So, there's 8 episodes for the Book of Water. The original season, like the original show, had about 20 episodes. So they are definitely going to cut corners. Like there's definitely going to be consolidation of episodes. Like that's the first thing. So like the first episode is really the first 3 episodes of the original Avatar. So, kind of if you want a gauge of where the story is and where the story ends.
How many episodes are in this season?
8. So
yeah, that's not gonna work.
They needed more episodes if they wanted, but it's probably budgeting. I'm gonna give this budgeting because Netflix probably took real close attention to M. Night Shyamalan and was like, okay, you know what? We're going to give you only 8 episodes. Let's see what happens. And if people like it, then we'll give you more money. That's what I think is happening. So, you know, Netflix is going to be more conservative than go balling out for Avatar. Mm-hmm. I would say another con is, for me, some of the CGI is a little shoddy, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt where it's just budgeting. And then now I'm going to go to like what I actually, well, I have one more third one, is that, and this is kind of just me personally, they show the genocide of the airbenders. So in the original show, to my knowledge, they never showed that. It was just, it happened off screen that, you know, you just see the aftermath of the airbenders being, you know, killed.
Yeah.
And the show, the Avatar, the live action is a lot darker. So they actually show, it's more catered to adults, I would say, or maybe a teenage audience. Like, for example, it shows Sozin, like the original Fire Lord Sozin, like burning people alive. So it's just like, you know, just, and so it shows them killing kids. Like, all this is all within the first like 10 minutes, by the way.
So this is like an R-rated
No, I wouldn't say R-rated because
PG-13.
I would say like PG-13. Mm-hmm. This is definitely like a PG-13. This is more catered to the Avatar fan base than newcomers to the series.
So they don't curse.
No, they don't curse at all. There's no cursing at all, but it's more like, this is definitely for, Netflix designed this show, to my knowledge, for people like you and me, older Avatar fans who want to come back rather than, you know, 10-year-old kids who want to see the show now.
Yeah.
So that is, you know, my big 3 right now. So my compliments to the show, which a lot of people are dunking on the show right now. They're like, it's garbage, it's this, that. And I think that it's probably just people being very protective of the show because of how good it was. So with the compliments I have, first of all, I really like how they introduce you to the air nomadic culture.
Okay.
Like, that was one thing that I think really not lacked in the old show, because you see it through flashbacks, but the new show definitely kind of shows the whole air, the southern air temple, you know, just kind of their culture. And I wish that they showcase it a little more, like in the present, so it's not in flashbacks. And then it also shows the sense of urgency for the Avatar, because, you know, it's shown that, oh, you know, the Fire Nation has started this war, everybody's sending their troops, like, we have to send Aang because he's the Avatar, blah, 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 right? Another compliment I have is they show, I think, the brutality of the Fire Nation. I think that the Fire Nation is definitely like, again, it's a kid's show. Mm-hmm. So they're not going to show the Fire Nation committing atrocities, but this is definitely showing like the Fire Nation, like in its full imperial, like, we're going to kill you. You know, going back to it, now that I'm thinking about it, another critique I have of the show is Aang can fly. So, do you know The Legend of Korra? Did you see it?
I didn't see it, but I know of it.
All right, hot take, Legend of Korra is kind of trash, but anyways, I digress. One main thing in The Legend of Korra is that the airbenders are, again, you know, monk-type people, peace-loving, but there's an airbender villain, which is actually pretty cool. And he learns how to fly because you go beyond this, like, basically you achieve enlightenment. So, like, for airbenders, you have to detach yourself from the material world. You know, you have to detach yourself from your families and from all this and, like, become this, you know, spiritual, enlightened person. And most airbenders can't do that because they're human, you know, so Like, for example, in the original show, Aang wouldn't be able to do that because he has attachments to Katara, to Toph, to Sokka, to Gyatso, you know, all of these people in his life. But in Legend of Korra, this guy was a psychopath who didn't care about anybody, so he could gain that enlightenment and just fly. In the in this live action, Aang can just fly. So it's like, I don't like that.
Interesting. Okay.
That's just me being a nerd.
Were they just like, oh, he's using the air to lift himself up off the ground?
Yeah.
Type thing.
Yeah, but it's, you know, but that's like such high level airbending that is only achievable because the Legend of Korra kind of talks about it is when you have just transcended being a person and you are now like enlightened. So that's when you can fly because you're no longer attached, air quotes, to the world. Like gravity doesn't affect you. So Aang can just like fly. So I don't know. But
he doesn't use the like his staff turn
but that's
where he
the
can
thing.
fly with
He
the staff.
still uses the staff. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, there's so many plot holes in the first episode because you know how he gets captured by Zuko and he's like on the ship?
Yeah.
You know, so in the live action, he just walks out to the deck and I'm like, bro, just fly. Like, you know, if we have already addressed this, but no, he needs like, they want to showcase that iconic scene where, you know, he's dodging Zuko's fireballs with his staff. But there's just a plot hole, big plot hole right there. And I think I'm like a pretty level 1 Avatar fan. So I can only expect a level 100 Avatar fan. Probably picked out 60 bazillion plot holes by that scene.
Okay.
But anyways, back to the compliments. The characters look like the anime. You know, like the characters, like their casting was, in terms of just looks, A1. Like Katara looks like Katara. Zuko looks like Zuko. Iroh looks like Iroh. You know.
Okay. That's a good sign.
That's a really good sign
compared to the other movie.
Yeah. They also play very heavy into culture. So kind of like, you know, you get to see again all of the different cultures, but you know, with the Fire Nation and with the Water Tribes. And again, this is just the first episode. Another thing is they change a really big part. So how do I explain this? Aang, when they introduce like the original animated show, we are brought to present day. So we're not brought back 100 years in the past right away. You know, we're in the present day, Water Tribe, you know, Sokka and Katara are out going for fish and, you know, they find the Avatar. But with this live action, they bring you you start 100 years before the main story begins. And, you know, so when Aang is rescued by Katara, they're brought into their village. And, you know, their grandmother kind of like tells him how all of his friends are dead and blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't know. I just disagreed with that scene. But that was pretty much it, you know. A lot of people, again, are hating on the show. And I think it's just because people are so attached to the old show.
Yeah.
I think that the live action, I'm going to give it, as of right now, a 6.3. Okay. I am not disgusted by it. They definitely cut some corners. They definitely consolidated scenes. And I was reading about the series. I found this really good article about it because it gives no spoilers. It's just like saying that the main criticism that people have is different timelines are being, well, not timelines, but episodes and events are being combined. And each episode gives an important life lesson to Aang. You know, so they're sacrificing these lessons he learns to become this avatar for the sake of moving the plot. You know, so people are worried that, you know, unneeded episodes are going to be pushed aside. What I'm waiting for, and I'm a little bit of a masochist, I want to see them do season 2, and I want to see them do Tales of Ba Sing Se. That would be a hot. Do you know the Tales of Bossing Say?
Yeah, yeah.
That is like
especially with the Iroh song at the end. Yeah,
damn.
of course I know that one.
It's like, do you think they're gonna touch that? I don't know. I don't know if Netflix has the balls to touch that.
They probably will. I don't know. We'll see.
You know what?
But so you want to give a 6.3 just because you only saw the first episode?
I only saw the first episode. Main criticisms everybody are having is they took away Sokka's Riz.
So he's not like, is he like goofy at all still, or is he more like serious?
So the first episode definitely plays into the goofiness. Like, this is another weird, another criticism I have, and it's not a criticism, observation, is the characters or the actors are acting too character. Like, does that make sense? So think of the anime. Think how they spoke to each other. Mm-hmm. They're like, Katara, what are you doing? Stuff like that. Or like, what are you doing, Katara?
Oh, it doesn't come off as genuine.
Yes, that's a good. Yes,
like, people don't talk like this.
I know you are like, you're like much better in this film critiquing. So it's coming off as like they're trying to mimic the show.
They're trying to appear cartoonish.
Yes, they're trying to appear cartoonish in some scenes, especially like when they find Aang. So it's just that's just one criticism. But again, a lot of these actors are, I guess this is their first big break. So I am willing, if this first season comes out okay, and by okay I say anything above a 6,
okay,
I will watch a second season. Just to see how, I just out of maybe masochism, curiosity, like just to see where Netflix is going to take this. Mm-hmm. Because if the rest of the season is okay, I heard that people say they really give Kyoshi an elevated role, probably for cultural reasons now. Mm-hmm. Because what's really interesting is, if you remember, like, just all the Avatar characters, Roku wasn't introduced at all. Like, they talked about all the avatars and blah, blah, blah. Didn't even talk about Roku yet. But you know who they elevated the fuck out of? Kyoshi.
It's just for the feminist thing. Yeah, that's the whole reason why they're doing it.
Like, Kyoshi's a badass, but it's just like...
But, like, she's made in passing. Besides, like
Kyoshi Island and all that.
Kyoshi Island, and then the warrior... Kyoshi Warriors. Like, they were in the show. Yeah. But it was like an episode here and there. It wasn't
like Roku was Aang's, avatar mentor because he was the previous one, Yeah. So
again, this is Netflix we're talking about, where the politics takes over literally everything.
But this is just one observation I made, so hopefully they don't shove this down my throat. Pause. But it's just the first episode, 6.3. I think that a lot of people are probably just hating on it because it's just a live action, and they saw what Netflix did to Death Note. They saw what Netflix has done to all these other live actions. I think they did Full Metal Alchemist too. But
oh god.
Yeah, I think they have multiple of them. So yeah, it's just...
Is there anyone from the cast that like I would recognize? Any like names they'd recognize, or is everybody like...
No, they're brand new.
Everyone's brand new. Okay.
Yeah, it's like everyone's brand. They're all like kids. Mm-hmm. So that's what I like, is that they're visibly young. I was really worried that Netflix was gonna bring old heads, and by old heads, anyone older than like 18, 19, to play a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Like, no. No. And I really hope Netflix doesn't push down this like romance arc for all of them. That's my thing.
That's interesting.
And
so before we continue, because we're halfway through, do you want to start doing the drinks now, or do you want?
Yeah, let's do the drinks now. So I made the drinks today.
You made the drinks this time.
I made the drinks today. This is a very special one. Give a description.
Description? Okay.
Yeah.
It looks like Sprite cranberry with a couple of ice cubes in it.
All right. Okay.
That's exactly what it looks like. I've seen those Sprite cranberry commercials. It looks good though.
Alrighty, let's take
kind of like It's like that same red, like a Shirley Temple.
Yeah, here you go.
Try not to spill it. You actually poured heavy this time. I like that.
Woo!
It's about damn time.
So it's not juice.
It's not juice. I like that.
Yeah, all right. That'll be $50, please.
$50. Yeah, good.
POV, you go drinking a Manhattan once. Thank you for sir. That will be $25. So, all right.
It is very good though. I like it.
Tasting notes, or do you taste anything?
I do taste. There's carbonation in it, so I know there's soda in it. It's red, so I'm assuming what could be red. If there's dead ass like a Sprite cranberry, or is it just like no? It wouldn't be cranberry juice. Cranberry juice would be a lot darker. It's got to be something red. I know. I can't. I'm not thinking straight with the red, but So you got the carbonation. You got.
I'm just enjoying.
Do you want me to? Do you want me to guess it now, or do you want?
No. I would say sip on it. No pun
Keep
intended.
sipping on it. Okay,
Keep
so
sipping on it.
right now, what I'm getting carbonation, like very light carbonation, very strong alcohol, which I like, and yeah, we'll come back. We'll come back to it. So give me. I have like a good indication of what it is, but I'm gonna guess the alcohol soon.
Okay. All right, and then another show, because when I heard about this, it kind of like reopened my nostalgia, reopened all of my, like, wow, I remember just waking up Saturday morning and watching that show, rewatching it as an adult, 10 times better. Like if you were to rewatch it now, you get all of the symbolism, you get all of like you appreciate a lot of the work that these people put into, because, let's be honest, at least for me, I just saw my favorite character, Azula. I know. Toxic woman.
Azula's your favorite character?
Toxic woman, Azula. Yeah, I would date Azula.
You like that. You're attracted.
Bro, I'm telling you, like, there
you
are
like a
some
girl
guys,
who could kill you.
There are some guys in this world that like Azulas and some don't. That's all I'm saying.
You wouldn't go for what's the
No,
not Azula, but she's like the trapeze artist friend of hers.
Oh my gosh!
She like threatens. She like lights her net on fire and like tries to kill her if she doesn't help her.
Wait,
I forgot her name.
I'm gonna Google it.
She has the power to like she'll like pressure point. Oh shit! Like pressure points, so she'll knock. She like as soon as like she taps you, like one of your body parts will like fall apart.
I know exactly. Ty Lee.
Yeah,
Ty Lee.
Ty Lee.
Yeah, it's Ty Lee. Ty Lee kind of gives off a little bit ditz energy.
Yeah, she may be ditzy, but she's also a trapeze artist.
I can see why Sokka went for it.
Yeah, you gotta think about these things.
You're like,
Then who's the
May?
Yeah,
She's
that was
the goth.
Zuko's girlfriend.
Yeah,
the goth, like I will kill you type.
Yeah, low key. Ty Lee and May fucked up Azula. Like low key, like they kind of hyped up Azula to be this like overpowered thing. She was kind of overpowered. She took on the whole gang. Get it?
Yeah.
But she took on Avatar, the Aang's whole ass crew. 1v5, mind you, because also Zuko was there because he's like, I'm putting aside my beef right now with you to fuck up this woman.
Yeah.
and
she can use lightning too.
And she fucked them up. But Ty Lee and May fucked her up. So I would only assume if it was Ty Lee and May versus the gang, I don't know. I'm putting my... But regardless, my favorite character was Azula. And rewatching it as an adult, it's definitely crazy. Because I liked Azula. She had blue fire. I thought that was pretty fucking cool as a 9-year-old. And B, she can do lightning. And I was like, oh, lightning's cool. I want to do lightning. But rewatching as an adult, there was a lot of people who kind of say, is she a villain? Okay, like thinking about Azula, right? she was brainwashed by the whole idea of like, you know, imperialism, the Imperial Guard, the glory of the Fire Nation.
Like her father trained her to be
a war machine.
A war machine.
Like she would never had a childhood, right? And some people are like, could she, like, in your opinion, would you consider her a villain?
I think she's a villain that could have earned a redemption arc, given the opportunity.
That's a really good answer.
Like, obviously, like some villains need to be like put in their place. Like Fire Lord Ozai had to be put in his place. Azula had to be put in her place.
Yeah.
Who was the villain from Ba Sing Se, who like the manipulative guy, the advisor who like manipulates the king, had to be put in his place, right? But in certain circumstances, they could. There was like one episode during season 3, I think, where like they're all on a beach together and she's like relenting her emotions a little bit, talking
like the
about
beach
like,
episode,
like oh, my mother thought I was a monster, that kind of thing. So like within there is a chance for redemption, but that depends on whether the producers want to show that.
Yeah.
So,
because I remember one of the most powerful scenes in that show was the final Agni Kai, like her and Zuko are fucking up the whole ass.
They're
Imperial
like powered
palace.
up by the comet and shit. Yeah,
like it's kind of crazy, and Katara kind of traps her because Azula is very, you know, prideful, very arrogant, so she thinks she can again fuck everybody up, and she gets trapped and she just starts crying. And now watching that as a kid, I was like, shut the fuck up. I was just like, fire flames, you know. But now watching, I'm like, oh damn, like she's having a whole ass mental breakdown, you know. And it's just so insane because you just see how powerful the writers made her, because she's literally breathing fire, bro. My guy, I'm like, you can melt the freaking chain, you know. But
also, did you ever think that can a firebender burn themselves?
that's a good question.
I've never seen if another firebender attacks another firebender, they can get burned. But can they be burned by their own fire? Like, cause like let's say like I'm holding like there's like a couple episodes like they're holding like a flame in their hand, right?
Yeah.
Like it's hovering above them, but if let's say if I put my hand above that flame, can I still burn myself?
I'm gonna say yes because I remember, again, if you're an ATLA fan, correct us, but Zuko wanted to learn how to do lightning because Azula did lightning, and Iroh was teaching how to do lightning, but you have to have good chi, because if you don't have good chi, it will kill you.
Yeah.
So I think they could burn themselves, because if
lightning, he was teaching him how to deflect lightning.
Oh, that's right. You're right. You're right.
Because you need only like certain firebenders can do lightning.
Yeah.
But he learned how to deflect it.
Yeah.
Like bring it through the arm and then out the other arm kind of thing. Yeah.
But like if you did that wrong, however, that would kill you.
Yeah.
You know, just stun your heart. So that's a good question.
Yeah.
Nuts. But
so props to Iroh for getting buff in prison.
Oh,
he's literally like literally like the joke, like I'm about to get like ripped in jail, just eating white rice.
Yeah, like I've seen gym YouTubers be like the Iroh workout, which is just like one arm pull-ups, just getting fucking buff in prison. No,
and then him and 4 guys overtook the entire city of Ba Sing Se.
They liberated
in like a day. They liberated in like a day.
Like, bro, where the fuck were they fighting Fire Lord? Like they fucking ate. They ate. Like I remember rewatching that episode. He's like, I had a vision I would take Ba Sing Se, you know, but I never knew I would be its liberator. Like I'm taking Ba Sing Se, but not as a conqueror, but as a liberator. And you just see him go. Fucking, he's like, I feel this power once in a generation. I'm like, oh, this man's about to like. If I was a Fire Nation trooper, I'm just taking off my uniform.
Like I'm out. I'm done.
I'm out. Like fuck out of here.
Yeah.
But if Netflix gives Avatar, here's what I'm gonna say: if they give them the money, I see potential there. Like I see a lot of like those fighting scenes, like the retaking of Ba Sing Se or those. That's gonna take a lot of money. That's gonna So I think that if Netflix is willing to put the work in and put the money in, this could be done. But you can't go cheap. You can't go cheap. Like,
Yeah.
because the animating style was so elaborate
Yeah.
that people are just gonna inherently compare it to the animating style, and if you don't live up to it, then people are just gonna say, "Oh, it's shit." But I know that I was on Twitter. I'm sorry, X, but I was on Twitter the other day, and I want to hear your take because
Okay.
people were talking about it, and this tweet got like hundreds of thousands of views and comments, and started all this engagement. And the guy's like, the prompt of the question is, name me something about like name what was the prompt? It was like, name me an unpopular opinion that you know is true but people aren't ready to acknowledge. And he was like, y'all ain't gonna like this, but Sozin was right.
So, damn.
He's like it's him, like it's like a picture of like the dog with like a T with like the eye, but it's like it's like
Like
y'all
that, yeah,
like
yeah,
y'all ain't ready to have this conversation, but Sozin was right. And then people were like, this started like a whole ass debate because basically Sozin wanted the four nations under one rule, right? And that the four nations can only truly prosper if they're all under one government or one entity. Roku was like, no, the four nations are meant to be the four nations, and that all this stuff, right? But he was like, but people were just like, but in the Legend of Korra, they all just unite eventually under Republic City. So low key, Sozin won. Like, granted, it wasn't under the Fire Nation. Like, the
Yeah.
Fire Nation didn't control everything, but in the Legend of Korra, the Fire Nation's, industrialization, its military, it's like like the world of Legend of Korra is very much the product of the war, the 100 Years War with the Fire Nation, and the technology and all of this like prosperity the Fire Nation had, giving it to the world.
Yeah.
So this is where the guy was like, y'all ain't ready to have this conversation, but Sozin was right. And then people were like, a clock can be right twice a day. Doesn't mean you got to keep the clock.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think about that?
It's an interesting take on it, which, well, I think he means that he was right in like spreading like the knowledge that the Fire Nation had or the prosperity that they had, but like the way they did it was wrong.
Yeah.
So like if they went it where it was more like less of an imperialist way of doing it,
Yeah.
then kind of like sharing the wealth with the others, like your knowledge and everything like that, to make the entire world more prosperous, then yeah. But like to say you can't directly say that he's right, because Sozin wanted to imperialize everything and take it over by force,
Yeah.
which is wrong. But the main idea of sharing that prosperity, leading to more of it growing anyway for everybody else, then yeah.
Yeah, but I remember I've just seen this and people are like, low key, like this man may be onto something, and other people are like, no, he was a murderous fascist, blah blah blah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like those comments, I wish I bookmarked it, going insane. Like people, like this man literally just dropped a bomb in a room and just closed the door.
In the Legend of Korra,
Yeah.
are the Fire Nation, like anyone from the Fire Nation, treated differently because of the 100 Years War?
No. So the Legend of Korra kind of really, this is one problem I had with the Legend of Korra, was it didn't really branch out into the other nations. It was really centered in and around Capital City, or the Republic City. So Legend of Korra is on Netflix as well. It's very divided, the fandom. Some people really like it, other people hate it. It's kind of, you fall into one of those two categories. I don't hate it, but I definitely don't like it. Not because it's not The Last Airbender. Again, people hate, again, like what I was going to in the beginning is like, when you try to bring something, like continue a world or continue to world build, but it's not a carbon copy of the last one, you're not doing good. I think Legend of Korra brought in really interesting questions into the Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like Legend of Korra, one really interesting thing that I wish they expanded upon was the idea of the equalists. So basically, right, you have the fallout of the 100 Years' War, right? Fire Nation loses. Zuko assumes the Fire Lord, and basically all the four nations agree to create a United Nations, more or less, right? Just they create a council where instead of going to war, they bring their disputes to this council and they can amicably talk about it. And the Avatar kind of is the main enforcer of this, world. Mm-hmm. The problem that the Legend of Korra has is there's no central argument, there's no central villain.
Mm-hmm. It's like a new villain per season.
It's a new villain per season, and that is the problem. Korra had 3 villains. They had the Equalists, they had Uluk, this evil waterbender, and then I forgot her name, but they basically had this fascist earthbending, military leader.
Okay.
The Equalists were, I think, personally the most interesting because basically they were under the premise of people, non-benders are being discriminated against in the world. And that the Equalists, by this leader named Aman, take bending away. That he uses blood bending to basically flood the portion of your brain that is responsible for bending, and he takes your bending away. And now you are an equalist. So the only way to be equal and to destroy this caste system of benders and non-benders is to just outlaw bending and just take everyone's bending away.
So it gets very political in this.
Yeah. One. So the first season is actually really political. The second season is it's another political season, but for different reasons. So you remember the water tribes, right? You have the North Water Tribe and the Southern Water Tribe. Southern Water Tribe is more like rural, hillbilly country, while the Northern Water Tribe is more like cosmopolitan, right?
Yeah.
So the second season is basically the Water Nation goes to civil war, right? That the Southern Water Tribe is sick and tired of the Northern Water Tribe telling it what to do, blah, 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 and they go to war. By the middle of the season, they kind of stop that whole conflict and it just resolves off screen because they change course because this is where I'm getting with Ulak.
Okay.
This evil waterbender becomes the evil avatar. Again.
But he's just a waterbender.
Yeah, he's a waterbender, but this is where it becomes a problem so the Legend of Korra opens up the spirit world. So the spirit world, you remember when Aang is on Kyoshi Island and doing that whole spirit world shit?
Yeah, yeah.
Legend of Korra takes that to a level 100. So they really go off on the deep end of the spirit world, and basically the Avatar, what makes the Avatar is a spirit. And this spirit is an eternal dispute with good and evil. The good was able to suppress the evil. And the first Avatar, this is where a lot of people have problems with Legend of Korra, is because it contradicts The Last Airbender. So the first Avatar basically, is given these gifts and is given, basically you're given the elements. So the first Avatar has all these elements from this spirit, while in The Last Airbender, the original benders, you had the dragon for fire, the fish for the moon, or the moon for the water, those things are just immediately negated. Legend of Korra says those bending styles are negated, and the spirit of the Avatar gave the elements and was the first teacher. That's where people started having problems with it. But
okay,
basically good and evil, right? So the evil is released into the world, and the evil, partners with this very ambitious man who, becomes the evil Avatar, and Korra and this evil waterbender fight to be who will be the Avatar. That's basically what it is. Spoiler alert, Korra wins, and third season comes around. The third season is another politically heavy season. Like, as all this, the Legend of Korra has a lot of political undertones to it. But the third season deals with the Earth Kingdom, and the Earth Kingdom basically is, you have Ba Sing Se, which is like the capital of the Earth Kingdom. Then you have this very rich city. I forgot the name of it, but basically it's all metal benders and like tech heavy. Basically a technocratic society that this military leader, she becomes a fascistic leader. Basically, she's Hitler. And, that's basically what it is. She's Hitler.
Oh, great.
She gains control of the Earth Kingdom, convinces them to go to war with the Fire Nation, kill everyone, and the Earth Kingdom will become the most powerful, through our technology. Basically, it's just a rebranded Grade B Ozai.
Okay.
And Korra
like
wins.
what they did to us 100 years ago.
Exactly.
Let's do to them
exactly.
now. Okay.
Yeah. And basically what happens is that Korra wins. She merges the spirit world with the virtual world so everybody can like live happily ever after. And she's gay.
And she's gay.
Like Korra comes out at the end.
Oh, great.
Like that's literally it. So a lot of people were just like, the fuck?
So she combined the spirit world and the real world.
Yeah, so
together.
like, how the Avatar...
the spirits now live in the real world.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Like,
that
how the
sense.
Avatar is like the bridge between the spirit and physical world? Yeah, she
you
gets
can't
rid of that.
combine two worlds together. What doesn't make any sense? Like, how are they going to live?
They did that. They just did. It like literally, it's just, again, somebody just went in, dropped a grenade, and just shut the doors.
But then, like, well, what does it do?
It's just
like, what's the benefit of combining this world?
I guess for peace, I don't know.
But now you got a bunch of spirits running around that could like do anything.
Well, here's the thing about that. Remember, what was his name? Remember the general, the Fire Nation general? Oh, what was his name? That went to attack the Water Tribe, but then he just got yeeted by Aang.
Admiral Zhao.
Yeah. He's actually in the Legend of Korra.
He's in the Legend of Korra.
So he's brought...
Because he was taken into the spirit world by whatever that blue thing was.
And he's basically like... what's the ancient Greek?
He's just like trapped there or something?
Yeah, so what's the ancient Greek? Is it called Elysium? Or basically like the idea of you're just in a field... And the field never ends.
Their version of heaven was called Elysium.
Yeah, so he's basically in Elysium, but like slightly twisted where he just wanders. That's it. Like the spirits dropped him
into the spirit world.
In the spirit world, and he just wanders these fields forever.
He's just trapped there forever.
Yeah. Like that shit was kind of fucked. Like that's kind of that like not gonna lie, Legend of Korra kind of went crazy on that because like that is where the spirits drop their prisoners and they kind of just wander like for eternity. That's it.
Damn.
They don't know where they are. They eventually forget who they are and they forget what they're doing, but they just wander. That's it. So Zhao. So Aang has children, right, in Legend of Korra, and his son kind of takes control of the airbenders, right? And Zhao, so long story short, Aang's son enters the spirit world for whatever reasons, I forgot, but he finds Admiral Zhao. And Admiral Zhao is like, I found the Avatar, like, thinking he's Aang, and it's like, I'm going to take you to Ozai and blah, blah, blah. But he doesn't know that the war's been over for so long. And
yeah, because he's been trapped there.
He's been trapped. And then, so Aang's son is kind of trying to like, who are you? Like all this stuff. It's just, I was like, that scene kind of went crazy. Like it, Do
they save him or is he just trapped there?
No, they can't. The spirits will not allow him to leave.
Dang.
Like he's in Alcatraz. Like he tried to kill the moon.
Yeah, he did kill the moon.
Or he tried
he killed one half of it, I think.
Oh no, I think
it was two koi fish, and he killed one. But it can't exist without the other. So
but it was just like the moon was like, you tried to kill me, motherfucker. Like,
you're stuck here.
You're stuck here.
You ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, but wow, but yeah, Legend of Korra. A lot of people accused Legend of Korra and the writers of... Do you know what the term queer baiting is?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So they basically like, so Korra was always like hinted of bisexual. Like, she kind of like, oh, yeah, it's just like, it's always like implicit in the writings. But the last episode, the last second, like this is the last episode, like the last 10 seconds of the show.
Let me guess. She makes out with a girl.
Yes. And then bang, shut. So like Nickelodeon couldn't say anything. So people are like queer baiting,
Oy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Is it worth watching though?
Yes. I think that Legend of Korra, I have problems with it, but as a standalone, like if you don't compare it to Avatar: The Last Airbender, it's pretty good. Like the animation is pretty good, the fight scenes are pretty good, the villains are pretty smart. I think that the show could have definitely just benefited with one villain and just building, this character building, but
they were trying to avoid copying the first series.
Yeah.
Try to make it different while expanding on a universe.
Yeah. Like a lot of people had problems with Republic City. That Republic City was just simply New York.
Okay.
Avatar, they like took very heavy into like the cultural, like the Fire Nation was Japan, Earth Kingdom's China, stuff like that. While Republic City is just New York City. And then people are like, this is whack. They're like, this is lame. And yeah, for some bizarre reason, a lot of people didn't like that. Legend of Korra, they threw in the fact that she was a lesbian. Like, for me, it's kind of like, okay, like that's not central to the plot, but a lot of people didn't like that. They were
interesting.
Like, yeah. Another thing a lot of people had problems with Legend of Korra was, again, just the writing of it. And see, because like Legend of Korra tried to be its own thing, but then it tried to take the convenient aspects of The Last Airbender and implement it to Korra. So like, for example, she has her gang. She has her, struggles. And people are just like, stop it. Stop it. Seek help. Get help.
Just seek help.
So
do you recommend the live action ATLA series?
Based on episode 1, if you know the series, you know what's going on, yeah, I would watch it. Just watch it. Have an open mind. Again, my opinion can take a 180. So probably by next week, I'll have a better understanding. But yeah, that's gonna...
Yeah. Well, I'd be interested to see how they can do everything in 8 episodes.
You should watch it. Like I know
there's a lot of things I should be watching.
Look, but here's the thing though. This is like for scientific purposes though. This is I'm on my Narcos bandwagon. You should watch the show Narcos. That's a good show.
Among the 100 other ones I should watch.
Add it to your list, Narcos.
I did watch another show and I finished it last week.
What show?
It's another Adult Swim show called Sea Lab. You ever heard of it?
No.
It's like one of those like weird. They based it on like old school animation. It's about a bunch of scientists that work at this underwater sea lab, with like at the bottom of the ocean, and they just do like weird shit every episode. That's all.
Like is it episodic? Like there's no continuation?
No, it's a different story each episode, and it just gets like weird. It's like Adult Swim quality. So
wow, postmodernism.
And the last episode is literally them just doing like an award ceremony for how great Sea Lab was as a show, knowing that this is the last season. That's
so they broke
air.
The fourth wall. Like
yeah.
They know they're.
Oh, they do that several times. They break it several times. And I was just like, because I already started it, so I have to finish it. And I power. They're not even 20 minutes long, so like very easy to.
But when you get rid of the theme song and end credits, they're like probably like 15 minutes.
Yeah, they're not very long. So I was just like, yeah, I could power through this in a week.
Would you ever do One Piece?
The whole cartoon?
I'm talking about whole cartoon.
No.
Are you afraid?
No, because I know that you guys have told me that there's so much filler in that show.
It's a lot of filler. Like there's probably seasons worth of filler.
And I'm just like, do I really want to do that? Not really.
My cousin finished One Piece.
Your cousin's a masochist.
It took him 2 years, he said. to catch up to One Piece. Like, and this is just strictly like watching One Piece.
And I'm guessing each episode's like 20 minutes.
Actually, really, when you get rid of the intro and outro, it's like 15 minutes.
Okay.
But there's 1,000 episodes. They're still airing episodes.
That's crazy.
The One Piece. And I'm like, when have they found the One Piece? Like,
what is the One Piece? I don't know what the One Piece is.
Okay, I haven't seen the show.
I just know it's like Luffy wants to be the pirate king, right?
So it's basically a show about pirates, and like you have this One Piece that basically, like you become like the mega pirate, the goat, and it's just called the One Piece, and they're just out finding it.
That's it?
That is literally the basis of the show.
Oh, good for them.
Crew comes on, they leave, like, so people become attached to characters, and then all of a sudden, like, the characters, like, leave the ship. They're gonna go do their own thing, so people are like, oh, you know.
Oh, no.
So, because my girlfriend's brother is watching the show, so they organized the show by the crew. So you have Luffy, obviously, but, like, there are characters who are with the show for a certain period, and then they leave. So, like, One Piece people are like, what crew are you on? You know? That's the thing. So,
I know Luffy, Zoro.
He's the ones with the swords.
He's the one with the swords. I know Ace. I think that's his brother.
Oh, I don't know.
He has, like, fire powers or something.
I know the reindeer. Or, like, the
little shit reindeer. Isn't there one that's a skeleton?
Yeah.
And one of them's, like, a blonde guy who's the chef?
Yeah, like,
Doesn't Luffy nail like the hottest woman on earth?
I don't know. Like,
something like that.
I mean, you know what we need to do? We need to get him on the podcast, talk about One Piece.
Your boyfriend, not your boyfriend, your girlfriend. No. Sorry, your girlfriend's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's brother on the freaking podcast for.
Would he be down for it?
I'll have to talk to him.
All right.
Like, and we just need to talk about One Piece. It's like, what? Because he will watch it, and it's just like, how much story is there to tell? Like, this show, John, has been going since the 90s.
Anime writers have found a way to keep shit going. Well, look at The Simpsons, or look at Family Guy.
Wait, Simpsons is still going?
Yeah, they're not done yet.
Wait, what? I thought they were done.
The Simpsons is in their like 30-something season. They're not done yet.
They need to end that shit.
They've reached the point where like we don't give a fuck. We're just cashing checks at this point. Because like as soon as PC culture came in, like they got rid of like a bunch of characters for PC version for like PC reasons.
Like they got rid of the what's his name, the millionaire.
I know they got rid of Apu. They
got rid of Apu.
They got rid of Apu because he's like Indian store owner racist type. They literally didn't fight it. They were just like, yeah, we'll get rid of Apu. We don't care.
Oh my gosh.
And then who else did they get rid of?
They probably got rid of Krusty the Clown.
Maybe. I don't know.
Or they probably heavily changed Krusty.
Maybe. I don't know.
They probably got rid of the millionaire because he was always like...
Mr. Burns.
Yeah, because wasn't he like a gay stereotype?
No, his assistant Smithers was a gay stereotype.
Yeah, so they probably like got rid of Smithers or... You know.
But there's like... you know, when you're literally just making episodes for the sake of cashing checks, that's what they're on now right now.
Damn.
They're still going. It's crazy.
That's crazy. Family Guy, I know, has been in the ship.
Yeah, it's just not good writing. That's all it is. Because Seth MacFarlane doesn't write for the show anymore. All the earliest seasons, like I think going up to like before they hit the double digits for the seasons, it was always him like helping to write and produce the show. He doesn't write anymore.
He just voice acts?
Now all he does is the voices. Everybody else produces and writes.
Wow.
So when they do all that and they get into very heavy PC culture, just very, not even dark humor, just like dark politics in general. Very straightforward. They always break the fourth wall, always making fun of Fox. And it's like, you only break the fourth wall once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
Like when you do it every episode, that's just
old.
Absolute laziness.
And it's just like insulting your audience too.
Yeah, like we're not stupid. Like, if you can do such a good job in the beginning, why can't you do the same thing now?
Yeah. You know, my favorite Family Guy episodes were always like the Brian and Stewie ones.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, my favorite Family Guy episode is Brian, Stewie, and Mort time travel back to like Nazi Germany. And it's like, you know, Mort is pretending to be Catholic. And it's, or like Stewie, like they could never write that episode again. Like, Stewie pretends to be Hitler, gets a Sharpie, like
just draws it on his head.
Draws the mustache, and he's like, "Hi guys," like Hitler.
Yeah, he's like, hey.
And then it's like, "How's my atomic bomb coming?" He goes, "Oh, it's going good, but we made these helium balloons." So he's like, nice guys.
Well, I know. I think you could still do some of that. I mean, just look at Rick and Morty.
The original creator got booted off the show?
Yeah, for domestic abuse.
It was domestic abuse?
Domestic abuse, yeah. So he got kicked off the show, and they're looking for... I don't know if they're looking for or they found one yet, but they're looking for, like, another voice actor who can replicate the voices.
Bro, Rick and Morty is so fucking funny.
So like they can do so if Rick and Morty can still do all that crazy shit after 7 seasons, Family Guy can still do it too. It's just
they're just choosing not to.
Well, first of all, he signed with like I think they're on NBC right now.
Oh yeah, they're done.
Or like CBS, ABC, one of those like
one of the
ones.
parent channels.
That was a horrible decision.
Yeah, horrible decision.
That's a horrible decision. You never take a show like that and put it on a mainstream platform because then they immediately censor everything.
Yeah.
And I don't know why he did it, but
money,
whatever.
Like you said, they just took a check, brought it across the table, and said, "Sign it." I know. Wow, Rick and Morty. My favorite episode is the Meeseeks episode.
I'm Mr. Meeseeks. Look at me.
No, my favorite scene in that episode is like when Jerry is like getting like his shit back together, his golf swing, and it's like. He gets it in, and Meeseeks like, "Thank God I could die." And it's like, there's one Meeseeks left. He goes, "I'm Mr. Meeseeks. Look at me. I'm the stickler Meeseeks." Takes out a switchblade and puts it to this girl's throat. It's like, "Let me see your short game." Like, I died when that scene happened. And then like you have the Jelly Bean King. Oh my God.
I know. There's one episode. Doesn't Rick's car battery is like another universe or something, a microverse.
Yes. Oh,
and like
my
and like the smartest guy in that microverse escapes with him.
Yeah, no, my favorite thing is like, Rick, like you said, creates a universe and they're all giving the bird. And he's like, "Rick, why are you giving the bird?" And he's like, "Oh, I created it. It's a sign of like affection." And just flipping the bird. No, it's like, and then that Rick or like that universe Rick made another universe. And then the guy is like, "So wait, you're telling me I'm just bad?" Like they're
he's like, "That's what you use my universe for? Just to power your car?"
To power my car. He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "That's great." And then he just takes up his freaking thing and just rams it into a building. Oh my gosh. And it's wow. No, and then it's like when they're in a simulation, like, "You're in a simulation. Within a simulation. Within a simulation." Like, this episode's about to be a mind fuck. But another really funny scene of Rick and Morty was when Rick gives Morty like this helmet or with this set to like listen to animals talk. Mm-hmm. So it's like Morty is walking down the street, he sees these 2 squirrels, and the 2 squirrels are like, "So are we gonna assassinate the president yet?" Like, "Yeah, I think we're gonna fix the price of oil, blah blah blah." And it's like Morty is looking at them. He's like, "Why is that kid looking at us? why is that kid looking at us?" And it's like, "Oh shit, they can understand what we're saying. Oh fuck, we gotta kill him." And then Morty runs into Rick's house, and Rick is like, "Tell me you didn't look at the squirrels. Tell me you didn't look at the squirrels." And he's like, "Damn it, Morty, we can only do this like a couple of times." Like doing a whole time reset. And it's like, you just see the squirrels taking over the world. Like, oh my gosh. Damn. I really hope the show doesn't go downhill.
I hope not. No. Well, if they stay on Adult Swim, they'll be fine.
They're still on Adult Swim.
I think so.
Oh, wow.
Did they move?
I don't know. What's really interesting about Adult Swim is like it's Cartoon Network, right? Mm-hmm. Like Cartoon Network, I'm assuming is the parent company.
I think so. Yes.
Wow. So Cartoon Network kind of leaves their Adult Swim, people to do their own thing.
Yeah, it's still on Adult Swim.
Oh.
But you can also stream it on Hulu, Hoopla, and I think Adult Swim has their own streaming app.
Yeah.
But you can also watch on Hulu and Hoopla.
Oh. Shout out.
All right, and with that, before we call it, we're going to finish up the drinks now. I have a little bit left. Let me give it one more swing, and then I'll make a decision.
Oh, I saw that face. I know I made yours particularly strong.
Yeah, you did.
You said knock you out. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Okay. In 3, 2, 1, tell us.
This is a fucking Dirty Shirley, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, bitch. I knew it.
Okay, well, before we close it, I have them for you. I brought you gifts.
I'm like, this is. I know for a fact this is vodka.
Well, what's the... Oh, okay, yeah.
I know this is vodka.
I think you and Mike are successful because I do kind of like this vodka.
What type of vodka is this?
I don't know. Where I work in and around Grand Central, and this is what I found. It was on sale.
It's a French vodka. Interesting.
French vodka, 40% alc.
I've never heard of this one before.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty good. It was on sale, so I don't know like how.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And then
you forced yourself to drink vodka
for you,
for me.
Yes,
oh my god,
for you.
And then the grenadine.
And then the grenadine. So, yeah. And for those who may not know,
hell yeah, dude.
The vodka is Clarisse, sommelier and distiller, premium vodka, product of France, not paid advertisement.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
I was like, the red is throwing me off because it looks like Sprite cranberry, but like I know we don't have Sprite cranberry.
I was worried. Do you think I put too much grenadine in it?
No.
No? Okay.
Well, you heavy poured the vodka, which I like, so...
And it's only used this... Well, actually, low-key, this is a lot.
That is a lot, yeah. I know most of that was for me.
Oh, man. I probably gave you 3 shots worth of vodka in that, eyeballing it. And then I gave myself probably like 2.5. So.
It's still good, though. I like it.
Yeah, and then it says, exclusively imported by Baron Francois Limited.
Baron
New York.
Francois.
Yeah, so if you ever want these, let me know. I'll get another one. They're not that expensive.
I couldn't remember the name grenadine when I was thinking of this before.
Oh shit!
Because I was like, I feel the carbonation.
Yeah.
This definitely tastes like vodka. Yeah. It feels like vodka.
We take another shot.
usually, I'll do like. I'll either have like a Smirnoff or Pinnacle. Yeah, you've had Pinnacle before, right?
I have Pinnacle. They usually do the flavored vodkas.
Yeah, they do like a whipped cream vodka, which is pretty good. I like that one. Yeah, it's like whipped vodka. Pretty good. But the red kind of gave me the idea, like...
Not gonna lie, this Dirty Shirley's hitting me right now.
Also because we've talked about doing Dirty Shirleys before, especially because we went to when we were in Manhattan. We had them before, so I was like, okay, this is probably a Dirty Shirley.
Well, that's pretty good. And then, so for our viewership, so what the plan is now is that I'll probably be making the drinks for the next couple of weeks because I have decided to donate to our cause, which is to create our own repertoire of alcohol so your parents don't think we're alcoholics. Agreed.
He has to make noise now.
Yeah, he I think he agreed. He's like, yes, you should get your own alcohol.
He's like, adjourned.
Adjourned. You know what that is, right? He said adjourned. This episode is adjourned. So, all right.
And with that, let's call it for this episode. Thank you everyone so much for watching once again. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Spotify, and all of our social medias for upcoming content. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the next episode.
Peace.